Okay. Hello Manu, hello Ornstein, hello Vin. Welcome. I think this stream is going to be interesting. I feel like it's actually going to be pretty similar to the difference between um the Claymore and the Bastard Sword, in that they're going to be very similar weapons, the Large Club and the Great Club, but I'm excited to see what the actual differences are going to be. Um I feel like this is the opposite of a toothpick though, Ornstein. I don't think you can get much further from a toothpick than a giant stick. Hi, Manu. Welcome. Again. So I just started as Bandit. The leveling should be pretty simple. The soft cat, or I mean the requirement, rather, for the large club is 26, so I'll probably just get 27 strength. And then go from there. This might be a stream where I end up wearing Havels and Favor and Protection the whole time, just for simplicity's sake, so I don't have to level up my endurance too much. Toothpick for giants, something like that. Hello, Gonark. Thank you for the good luck. I don't know, I feel like it's still a pretty weird shape for a toothpick, though. Hello, Krista. Yeah, it doesn't taper enough, exactly. It's just kind of a stick. Okay, I forgot to do that. Okay. Yeah, the change between whatever the previous color was and red, I feel like, is a lot more striking than the other color changes. I don't dislike Favor and Protection, it's just kind of boring. I don't know. I like Silver Serpent or Chloranthy or I don't know, Dark Wood Grain. I don't know. There are just so many more interesting options. It's not even that Favor and Protection is bad, it's just overrated. Because I think overusing it is boring because of how powerful rings are. Honestly, even like Slumbering Dragon Crest is probably more useful in a lot of circumstances than Favor and Protection. It really just depends on your playstyle and whether or not you're capitalizing on the different weird usages of rings and stuff. I don't know. I have a real life Favor and Protection ring. Krista, thank you so much. Gotta get your #1 spot, of course. I like how it says #3 in the donation message, despite the fact that you are absolutely 100% #1 now. Thank you so much. You give me too much money. I appreciate it. I appreciate every cent that anyone gives me, but thank you. Okay, so first and foremost, leveling up strength as much as I can. I don't know what I need. I think it's like 20, 22, something like that. It might be a good idea to go straight to down here and start fighting infested barbarians in the tunnel. If I don't get one from the 3 in the tunnel, then... Oh, I should use humanity, actually. If I don't get one from the 3 in the tunnel, then I'm just going to hack it in because it's a 2% drop chance, and frankly, I don't feel like grinding for that off of one of the most annoying enemies in the game. I mean, it has a different moveset. The Large Club and Night Rain is a little bit faster, just to like fit with the pace of Elden Ring and Night Rain. But in the same way that like the Broadsword is the same weapon, yeah, the Large Club is the same weapon. It really is the Forgotten Club. The Large Club, so easily forgotten. Yeah, innate poison. I mean, the main difference, it's slightly lighter, and I believe slightly... I think one part of the moveset is faster, but I'm not entirely sure. I was messing around with it earlier when I was getting the thumbnail screenshots and whatever, and it's so minorly different, if different at all, that I feel like the DPS is just kind of going to be lower, and whether or not that's worth the lessened weight and the... I don't know, the lower requirements and stuff. I don't know if that'll be worth that. Yeah, and poison is just kind of useless in Dark Souls 1. I don't think I'm going to be able to aggro only one of these guys at a time, huh? I'm really bad at fighting these guys. They have such weird hitboxes. Hello? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, oh. Ah! I forget how big their swings are, too. This might take a bit. I should be safe and heal, but I'm no coward. I say as I heal. Oh, whoa, everything's fine. Let's see if I can't get a backstab here. These guys have a lot of health, too. Yeah, Dark Souls 2 makes a lot of things a lot more useful. One-on-one, these guys aren't even too bad. It's just when you have multiple of them, their movesets don't work super well together. Yeah, because you can easily backstab chain them. Easier than most enemies, really. There we go. Can't wait to get 2 dung pies and nothing else. Really looking forward to that one. I want to do more Dark Souls 2 runs. I think the next one I want to do is either Pickaxe or the next episode of the like playthrough that I've been doing. Well, that I did one episode for. And I'm not sure which one I want to do more. The worst version of your baby? I don't know. Oh my god! I didn't even have to hack it in! That's crazy. Okay, never mind. That was so fast. Okay. I assume it's a normal Titanite weapon. I'm not going to be able to use this until I level up a bit more, but... Alright, toothpick acquired. I think that's the... I don't know, like second or third time I've ever gotten that, legitimately. So... Streamer luck. With 4 humanity. Off the second barbarian. It is normal Titanite? Okay. Oh my god, a dung pie! That was so crazy lucky. Oh my god. Okay, now the question is, do I do Sin Skip to get it to plus 10, like, now? Do I just do everything to get a plus 15 before the first boss? I think that sounds fun. I think I'm gonna do that so I can obliterate the gargoyles. Admittedly, I don't think that's a very good way to get a good reading on the weapon, which is... I do that all the time. Never mind, I'm gonna do it. It's funny. I'm gonna get plus 14 before the straight demon and then plus 15 for the gargoyles. I don't know if this is faster for real time. It feels better though, than having to wait on the elevator. Might be a little bit faster in real time for remastered on PC, just because load times. Hello, Styrodot, welcome. I actually didn't have to hack in the weapon this time. That's... When was the last time I got a low chance drop during the stream that I wanted to use that drop? I don't know that there was a time that that happened. Oh, I should probably equip the axe again. Oh, hey, free souls. So that I can take out level, or I could level up. I'm gonna use my soul items and try to level up. Which is crazy, because I've done a lot of streams. I don't know how many exactly, but I've done a lot of streams. Well, about time it happened, I guess. That should be enough to 2-hand. Yeah, okay. Need 5 more levels in strength, and then everything else is probably gonna go into endurance and vigor. Can I wear this now? No. I will be able to once I get Havels, though. Maybe a little bit of armor. Not sure what armor to wear. I don't think I'm gonna go for anything in particular. I don't know. Could try to get the sack. Well, yeah, that's 27 is the soft cap for 2-handing, and the requirement is 26, so I don't really have any reason to go over 27. Because the only time I'm going to be one-handing it, right, is while reposting. And even then, probably only one-handed reposting on Gwyn. So. Okay, that's pretty good for unupgraded. Not even at requirements yet. I don't know, generally with slower weapons, I don't really see any reason to one-hand ever, especially because you get the 1.2 times motion value scaling off of the two-handing on top of the extra strength scaling and everything. So, unless I'm using a weapon like the Uchigatana or like a curved sword, even then, I prefer the two-handed moveset with curved swords, even if it might technically be slightly lower DPS or whatever. Okay, gonna put this on. There we go. Wonder if I should get power within. And like actually have stupid damage. Okay. I think I'm also gonna go through the Taurus Demon so that I can get the other Titanite chunk. Hey, a shard. One less I have to buy. The one problem I have with getting power within is that I'm bad at the video game and there's a high chance that I die on my way up Blighttown. And hacking something in because I died during a stream doesn't feel good. But I don't know. I'm not against it. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna go through the Taurus Demon. It's because if I go the other way, I'll naturally run past the Titanite lizard, crystal lizard. I won't have to go out of my way for the other crystal lizard. Chunk? No. Unfortunate. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. I like getting all the setup out of the way early so that I can just beeline to bosses. But also, I don't know. It just feels fun. It feels good. After, you know, struggling with my first two playthroughs, I'm hundreds of playthroughs in at this point. And melting the game is still very funny. Especially when you get something like, you know, the Demon's Great Axe that can two-shot a lot of bosses. I got to max level, I think on Switch, by duping Souls of a Great Hero. That took so long. It was not worth it at all, but it was funny, so. I think I maxed out Resistance first. Not because I was, like, doing it with anyone. I just thought it would be funny as a little joke to myself. And I regretted that a lot when I had to dupe hundreds of extra souls just for those last couple levels and whatever I decided to max out last. True. I don't want to get poisoned. Give me resistance. Oh yeah, that's fair. I think... I don't know. I wanted to do a thing where I used every weapon in alphabetical order in every new game. So like new game would be Abyss Greatsword. New game plus would be a Stora Straightsword. New game plus plus would be whatever's after that. But as I started playing through the game to get the weapons, it just wasn't very fun. So, I don't know. I gave up on that, but I think it would be fun to do some, you know, new game plus 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 runs, whatever. Like I did that with the... What was that? The blacksmith hammers? And I kind of want to do that with the Black Knight weapons. I think that could be fun. I also want to do that with the Artorias swords. You don't need the Ghost Blade for Knight's Honor. You only need the... Actually, do you even need the Jagged Ghost Blade? I'm not sure that you do. Like, what if adaptability was worse? What if adaptability didn't change anything about how you play the game? Hi, Lily. Welcome. You're not that late. It's only been 15 minutes. Oh, what the? Night Raid lock-on moment. What the hell? Ow. I assume this does strike damage like the Great Club, right? Yeah. So this should actually be pretty decent against a lot of bosses. A surprising amount of enemies and bosses are weak to strike damage. Get that. I have 2 shards? The only, like, actually particularly difficult weapons to get, in my experience, were the Stone Greatsword, and the Channeler's Trident. And the Channeler's Trident didn't even take me that long, it was like maybe an hour. Only a wizard and... Well, I mean, ropes tend to have higher status resistances than armors, right? So I don't even know if that's true. Melted something at work. That's not good. I hope you were able to fix that. Okay, reinforce... Oh, wait, purchase first. I know what I'm doing, I swear. I should have enough? How much is it? 800? Okay, never mind. Gonna pop this so I can get one more level, and then probably take out the Titanite Demon down here. The Prowling Demon. Where does Prowling Demon come from? I assume it comes from a, like a guide or something. The Pyromancer outfit? Yeah, but Sack is funnier, to be fair. Oh my goodness. Oh, the Sorcerer set, or whatever? Actually, I have no idea. How good most of the starting sets are, admittedly. Mostly because I tend to not wear armor, and if I do, it's because I'm not paying attention. Not that I, like, intentionally take it off, but the only reason I tend to wear armor is because it looks nice. And in that case, I tend to wear the brass set mixed with the gold hem set, because that's just my favorite looking armor combo. Okay, that'll get me 2 more levels, and then I can go into the depths. And then... Yeah, I don't know, my brain doesn't tend to focus on cosmetics for whatever reason. Outside of, like, oh, this looks kind of nice, and then I never think about it again. Or, like, I'll put on, like, the gold hem set all the way, like, the whole set. Jesus. While running between bosses, I'll notice that my feet are bare. And I'll be like, I should put on different pants. And then I forget about it. That's my experience with cosmetics in the Souls games. Okay, large Ember... Oh, I forgot to get the... That's fine. I'll get the other Titanite chunk in a moment. Did I get a Titanite chunk from the Crystal Lizard? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I got it from one of them. So there's the 2 guaranteed ones in New Londo. There's the 2 in Sens. And then there's the 1 other Black Knight. Yeah, okay. We'll be able to get plus 14 without going to Orlando. Without grinding either. I already used up all my luck getting the large club off this second barbarian. The Crimson set? I don't think I've ever worn the Crimson set for more than a few seconds to see how it looks. I don't like the Crimson set very much. I wish I did, because I like the color of it, but I don't know. I just don't like the vibes. In my first playthrough, I did, like, pay attention to what armor I was wearing, like, in terms of resistances and damage absorption and whatever. But after that, I just kind of forgot. Wonder what color it is. It's actually kind of like a mauve. Oh my goodness. It is a little bit, it is, like, genuinely a little bit darker than what I would personally call crimson, but, you know, oh, that's not even close. I think mauve is a red. I actually don't know. I got this. Don't worry. I'll land there eventually. I'll land there eventually. I've done this so many times. Okay. Here we go. Oh, oh. I forgot that it does that there. Yeah, I mean, even then, I don't know. In my first playthrough, I don't remember what I ended up wearing. I tried to wear the best stuff that I had that didn't put me over, or that didn't give me mid-roll, but I don't even remember, like, the stuff that I was wearing at that point. I think once I found the brass set, I actually didn't end up taking that off. The brass set is my favorite full armor in this game. And it has been since my first playthrough, which is not common. Like with Dark Souls 3, my favorite set has shifted quite a bit. At one point, it was like the Herald set, the Fallen Knight set. Now it's... I don't even know, to be honest. I really like the Firekeeper set, but the fact that it's awful for resistances is definitely a big put off for that. I like the Fire Lich set. I like my favorite like combination, I think, is the Alva. The Alva pants and gloves and the Fire Witch chest piece. The favor set? Oops. I don't like the favor set just because it's kind of bulky. 1 bajillion curse resistance. Yeah, but like, I don't need curse resistance. I'm not getting cursed in Dark Souls 3 ever. Oops. Whoa. Well, I wanted a backstab, but I guess I don't need to now. Give me your sack. Darn. No sack. Ugh. Killing dogs with a slow weapon. The rolling attack is actually probably my best bet. That wasn't a rolling attack. Can you rolling attack in water? I swear to God. I don't think you can. Oh my God. There we go. Arla set in Dark Souls 3. That's the Ragged set, right? I don't think it's called that in Dark Souls 3. But that's the Demon Souls Ragged set, I think. Ayo. Someone was gonna comment on it. I just wasn't sure who. Okay, this one's sack is guaranteed. Yeah, Heretic Witch. Yeah, that's the one. The Guardian set for being big. I like the thing about the Silver Knight set is I love how it looks. Or I love how the color is. I think the way that it combines with the way that it combines with the brass set is also like really, really good looking. I love the way the colors bounce off each other, but I hate, I despise how the actual like armor set looks itself. Ugh. Ugh. I hate the cape. The weird, gross, like canvas looking cape. Give me your sack. I do have a character with like a bunch of stuff. But I don't know. It definitely doesn't have everything, but I have just been using DSR Gadget to give it basically everything. Okay, time for... This is just having fun. I don't know. I don't like speedrunning Dark Souls specifically. Like, I've done a couple meme runs, you know, I've done Petrus Percent. Petrus Percent was fun. I've also done one-shotting the Asylum Demon with the broken straight sword, I mean the straight sword hilt as quickly as possible, which I definitely could have gone faster. I wasn't trying to go insanely fast there. It was just a little for fun thing to see how optimized I could make that setup for how absurd it was. But I have no interest in like actually speedrunning Dark Souls. Hello, Loot Crate. Welcome. I don't think this is low enough. And indeed was not low enough. Oh, come on. Should be good. Don't kill me, please. Cool. Thank you. Pardon me. I don't know, I feel like if I was speedrunning, I'd already be a lot further in than I am. See, I think I kind of wish I would have leveled up to 5 before going in here, but I don't know. Hopefully the giants don't end up being too annoying. Oh, come on. Go. Yeah, I mean the Crimson set is like right there. It wouldn't be too difficult to go get once I get back in there, but back is funny. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's not like this game is hard or anything. Such an easy game. Not infamously difficult or anything. I don't know. I don't think I've considered Dark Souls hard since like my 3rd playthrough. Green bar eating machine, true. I mean, that's kind of why I want to get the Ring of Favor and Protection, despite the fact that I hardly ever wear it. I want to get the soul items. I guess I could get the Soul of a Hero so I can buy the last couple Large Titanite shards that I need. I don't usually grab that because it's kind of out of the way, but if I just make the snake stab the wall, it's not a big deal. Okay. Drink some juice before getting obliterated. Make sure I have my vitamin D. Okay, I think this is a good thing. Oh yeah. I mean, 3 attacks. I feel like that's plenty. Oh my god, it's poisoned. How incredibly useful. Okay, let it die to poison. That's so much slower than I thought it would be. Okay, well. I was going to, but that was a little bit slower than I thought it would be. I fear that poison might be useless in this run. Yeah, but like, why would I need any more attacks than that? It's too slow to get more than 2 most of the time. And when I can, you know, that 3rd attack taking the rest of my stamina isn't a big deal, especially since I have Grass Crest Shield. And if I can't get a 3rd attack, that sliver of stamina is enough for me to roll, so should be fine. I mean, I'll probably still level Endurance a little bit, but I'm going to prioritize Vigor, for sure. Vitality? I think it's Vitality in this game. I always forget. Pardon me. Thank you. Snake obliterated. Okay. Let's see if I can't get this guy to break the wall for me. Poke me. Thank you. Hey. Yeah. Jump attacks with massive weapons are one of my favorite things in this game. I feel like the jump attack generally is kind of underutilized by most people. I think it's one of the most useful attacks in the game, especially for heavier weapons, but I don't know. Because generally it's a lot faster than the strong attack, and it does just as much as, if not more damage because of the motion value scaling. So It was actually not until after I played Elden Ring that I started using full weapon movesets. It's like in Elden Ring, I started getting used to using jump attacks and stuff um, when they became beneficial. And then that just kind of naturally happened when I went back to Dark Souls 1. Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, I'm so used to, well, okay, I say that, but I've also been playing Night Rain a lot, so I'm probably really bad at stamina management right now. But I feel like because I'm so used to stamina management in this game, that leveling endurance very much at all is not super helpful. I have no idea what that means, alas. I am sorry. You might have to give me a rundown on that one, if it's important that I know what that means. Pardon me. Bonk. Okay. Let me cover up. I mean, yeah, I guess it would, but I think I can already wear a little bit of armor, especially once I get favor and protection. But also, sack is funny. So like, whoa. Um, I need 3. I need 3. I need 12k for that, so this should be enough. Bonkulon Major. Indeed. Okay, get 3 of these. There we go. Thank you. Actually, I think this would be Bonkulon Minor. Great Club would be Major. And this club is minor, this is major, and then there's another word for bigger, for the Great Club. Alright, gonna move the elevator down and then just dark sign. Midger. You know, saying that out loud, that's a little bit close to another word that I definitely shouldn't be saying. Painting Guardian set? Don't you find that? Isn't that? No, that's not a drop. I have no idea where that's at in the painted world, to be honest. Oop. Okay, also, I feel like that wouldn't jive super well with the Great Club, or with the Large Club, I mean. I also don't usually wear the sack, to be fair. Normally I leave on the starting armor, or just wear the gold hem set. It's not like this is exactly the same as what I usually do. Bonk. I'm gonna quit out so this... Oh. Oh, that can hit you there? Oh my god. Oh, right, that basement. I think I know where that's at. I don't remember exactly, but I know the vibe of that area. Is it in that one of the first houses, like up those first couple sets of stairs? Okay, this is less good than the other one doing this. Everything's fine. It doesn't even matter. Hello, Seal. Welcome. I'm this giant has been not very nice. Okay. Dark sign. Very large ember now. Oh my god. You know, I tried to say it in a way that wouldn't come off like that, but... Do I have bones? I don't think so. Yeah, no. I don't have any homeward bones. Yeah, but like, do I need that level? It's fine. It's not like I fought any bosses anyway. I'm gonna get plenty of levels very soon. And I don't need that many levels for this run anyway, so whatever. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do the thing where I run around the top. Not gonna worry about getting the... I would grab the composite bow. Composite? Compound? Composite. I would grab the composite bow and make a Charlie Kirk joke like I said I would do last time, but that's a lot of effort, and I don't think I have the dex levels for the composite bow. Oh, yeah, exactly. And I like the... I don't know. I like the weapon to speak for itself, primarily. So like, I don't know. I've definitely gotten a lot better since my first couple streams, because I've played the game, you know, hundreds of more times since then. But YouTube let through my big stick, but not whatever else he tried to send. Really. Trying to think what weapons I'm going to use in the future that would be dramatically different runs. I like simple runs just because it's like, I don't know, I get to chill playing one of my favorite games ever, while people who also like my favorite game ever are talking to me. But, oh god, yeah, I definitely need to redo Dragon Bone Fist. That run was atrocious. Oh my god, Krista. I'm gonna make sure I don't die to this ghost. Okay. Drop down. Right there. YouTube censorship does not seem to be very effective properly, anyway. Maybe a little bit too effective improperly. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I'm coughing already. I've been drinking water, at least a little bit. Bonk. Bonk. Oh god. I'm sorry. No, I missed. This is tragic. What did he just try to cast? Oh. Bonk. Keep censoring your funny jokes. This is tragic. Too funny for YouTube. I did Great Axe a few weeks ago. I don't remember when, but I did Great Axe pretty recently. I have a list of runs that I haven't done. Oh my goodness, my nose just got stuffed up for no reason. Ow. I should post that list to my Discord. I should pin it and then edit it every time I do a stream. I also did Dragon King Great Axe. That was a while ago. Several months ago, at this point at least. I don't remember exactly how long, though. You are correct. It also didn't censor them this week. Manserpent Greysword is really fun. I really like Manserpent Greysword. I did that stream also fairly recently. I did not buff the Dragon King Great Axe, but I did buff the Obsidian Greatsword, which is like Sword Dragon King Great Axe, so... I mean, close enough. Jesus. I'm sure YouTube is not suspicious of my chat at all. Oops. Oh, that's fine. You can't even say hot? Yeah, YouTube's not the smartest. Apparently. I want to kill at least a few of these to try and get a chunk so I don't have to go all the way to the other Black Knight, but it's probably better to just do that, to be honest. True. YouTube is biased in your favor. As am I. Krista, you already gave me money this stream. That's why you have number 1. You did the pay-to-win strategy. Oh yeah, the Mississippi one. Damn, girl, are you from Mississippi? You're the only miss who's beside Sippy. One of my favorite bad pickup lines. I mean, I also eat the money. What else are you supposed to do with it? Yeah. Of all the things for YouTube to let through. Krista, you do plenty of things. It's not like giving me money is the only way you do that. The YouTube censor takes random breaks. I don't love trinkets. I wish I did. If I had a shelf for trinkets, I would adore trinkets. But I just don't have any space for trinkets, so they end up sitting in their box or whatever. And I cannot admire my trinkets. So as of this current second, I don't enjoy accepting trinkets. Oh god, give me the thing. Okay, everything's fine. I haven't done a weapon. I was gonna actually do the Enchanted Large Club this stream, just because I heard rumors online of it being the highest AR weapon, which isn't true, by the way. It is very much not the highest AR weapon. The Great Club, the Enchanted Great Club, has significantly higher AR. The Dragon King Great Axe actually has higher... Crystal Dragon King Great Axe has higher AR than the Enchanted Large Club, but not higher than the Enchanted Great Club. But also split damage is dumb anyway, so... 98 shells for trinkets. Krista, thank you so much. Damn, a whole year. That's a long time. Thank you so much. I don't know if donation messages get a free pass, but I mean, we have to assume yes at this point. Yeah, being forced to be financially responsible is tragic, but I would rather you be financially responsible than give me money. So I'm shocked that that got through. I don't know, I guess it makes sense that it did, because it would kind of be a scam if it didn't. But like, YouTube just doesn't have anything in place to prevent that. That's kind of crazy. Bonk. Oh god, everything's fine. Very interesting stream indeed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't need anything here. I haven't tested too many weapons with different infusions, just because I don't ever use infusions, because the actual damage is just going to be less than the AR with like a crystal weapon. But oh god. Thanks, Piss. It's all thanks to you. I have no idea. I think it's been... We haven't been dating the full year. I don't think. I don't know how long we've been dating. Time is weird. It simultaneously feels like it's been a month and also 3 years, so... Okay. That should be all the chunks I need. Now I just need to upgrade and then get the slab. I offhand does get less damage and also has a worse moveset, but I'm not sure how much. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think having less damage would be that much more interesting than having normal damage with a weapon with a bad moveset. Ah, pardon me. Offhand does not have any flat reduction. Does it have less strength scaling or something? Let me think. You can get... Because to get a plus 15, the only thing you need to do is beat the Capra Demon, who can very easily be your first boss. And then you have everything available, except for the slab, I guess, which you can grind off of Dark Wraiths to get a plus 15, basically immediately. Right as soon as you beat Capra Demon. Beyond that, to get Enchanted, you need the Enchanted Ember, which is in the Duke's Archives. No, that's the Crystal Ember. I don't remember where the Enchanted Ember is, actually. I don't know. I am bad at flirting, especially in public. But I am sufficiently flattered. Offhand S-Talk is not affected at all. Oops. Yeah, I mean, dual wielding, if you could power stance in Dark Souls 1, it would be my favorite Dark Souls, no question. As is, it is still my favorite game of all time. However, there are things where I think Dark Souls 2 is just kind of better in certain ways. Right past the Hydra? I have, like, up in the forest? Oh, right, it's in the pool with the guys. I don't know, even then, like, I feel like a standard plus 10 is gonna get you better damage than an enchanted that early in the game anyway, because you're not gonna have the levels to get the enchanted, unless something is specifically weak to magic. And even then, right? Like, the split damage is just doing so much less that I don't think enchanted is ever really worth it, outside of very, very, very particular instances. I really don't like the Silver Knight weapons. They're incredibly underwhelming. Only because people said they're some of the best Jax weapons in the game. And they're just not. The Balder Side Sword is just vastly better. I prefer quality weapons most of the time anyway. So, like, the Broadsword I prefer over the Silver Knight Straight Sword, even. So, like, I don't know. I guess it's cool, but it's not like... I haven't used the spear, actually. That is a good point. But then the straight sword is underwhelming. I do plan on doing the spear. I kind of want to do it in the same format that I did the Silver Knight Straight Sword, just because I think that's fitting. But I also wouldn't mind doing it as a stream if that would be, like, the preference for people. I don't know. I think I want to do more scripted videos. I have one that I'm working on, Soul Level 1 Jagged Ghost Blade. And then I also am working on a non-scripted, like, live commentary notched whip run, because... or that I probably won't get out for a while, because I have to beat Ornstein and Smo with a +5 notched whip. Because it's in the Painted World. But, you know. Hey. Hello, Stray Demon. I don't know if you're susceptible to poison or not. I don't think it matters. That might hurt. Ugh, everything's fine. Oh my god, if I could hit the boss, I'm gonna die. Imagine dying to the Stray Demon. Couldn't be me. I got greedy against the stray demon with a large club. Oh my god. I have disappointed myself and everyone. My apologies. No, not really. The point is to just play the game with the weapon, because I want to play the game through with every weapon. I think there are, not including the starting weapons, because I want to do a special thing with them. There are 20 streams left that I want to do, and there are, I want to say like a dozen or so, like videos that I want to do. The starting weapons will be another 10 streams, but I kind of want to do them more concentrated, like over the course of 2, maybe 3 weeks, instead of over the course of 10 weeks. Big bonk weapon indeed. That's not true. I've done runs with every different infusion. I've done runs with occult weapons, I've done runs with divine weapons, I've done runs with enchanted and magic, I've done runs with crystal. Am I missing any? Chaos. I've definitely done chaos in a stream before, and I've done fire for my first soul level 1 run, actually. I have done playthroughs with every infusion, just not in videos or streams. Who do you think would taste the best? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember what weapon I infused with magic. Oh, right, lightning. I've also done lightning for sure. I don't remember what weapons I used. Those were some of my first runs, because I didn't understand how split damage worked, and I thought it was cool. People kind of taste like pork. I heard that from Vsauce a while ago. In the video, what does human taste like? See, I don't think I'm allowed to say who would taste the best, because that would count as favoritism. And as a poly person, I don't think that's a good thing to have. Hey, he's poisoned! Wow, that's gonna make me have to do the same number of hits. That's crazy. Hi, Krista. Oh, hello, Smo. Welcome. The poison was technically dealing damage. Oh my god. Wait, what am I doing? Why am I fighting this guy? YouTube sure is letting things through. Tastes like bubblegum and Pacific Punch Monster. Those are pretty good tastes. And I like sweet things. So, works out. People do taste like pork. I thought you just grinded the bones into your soup. I don't know the lore about what parts of people Smo ate, though, I guess. Smo would know better than anyone. Okay, a little bit of endurance, a little bit of vitality. A bowl full of chalky cereal. A mixing bowl full. How big of a mixing bowl are we talking about? Use bones like seasoning. Checks out. I appreciate that, Manu. I do have good taste, I agree. Bonk. Bonk. Big mixing bowl. I mean, I have midnight snacks of sugary cereal all the time. Not all the time, but more frequently than I probably should. Right, but that's just the AR, right? So it really depends on what enemy you're attacking. And if something is resistant to magic, you're just losing out on a good chunk of that damage. Bonk. I forgot I had a plus 15. I was not ready for that damage at all. Okay. I was like kind of stunned there for a second. All right. Now we can actually get to the meat of the run. Baseball bat. It is kind of a baseball bat shape. The Roaring Knight. I am Death's Deltarune. Is that kind of spoilers? I kind of hope Death Knight isn't true. That's because I think that's kind of a boring outcome. Just because everyone assumes that it's true. The Great American Pastime is pretty great. I love baseball. I don't know. Baseball is not one of my favorite things. Oh god. Help. Everything's fine. Yeah, but the difference between the damage you do on pure physical and damage you do on split, even with how the differences work, or even with if the physical number is the same, you're still running through the damage calculation twice, which means you're getting a lot less of that damage than it seems like you should be. The way split damage is calculated just like really heavily hurts the split damage itself. So it's weird. It's hard to explain, and I don't fully understand it, and I don't know how much it actually matters, but split damage is almost always going to give you less damage than just pure physical. Especially when no, it's not just that though, like because it depends on the resistances and everything, right? Especially when pure physical with a buff is only adding damage instead of running through the damage calculation twice in the same way. So generally, or 100% of the time, a weapon with a buff of the same damage type will get you more damage. There you go. That's unfortunate that fell. Yeah, I used to like baseball as a kid, but I don't know. I kind of fell out of the idea of liking any sports at all. Like even esports I'm not particularly interested in, to be honest. You leave me no... That's unfortunate. I'm sorry you had to endure soccer. I wonder how much... Like, I don't dislike esports. I think a lot of them are really interesting. I mean, I like the idea of sports. I think I like games. It's just competitive sports that doesn't do it for me, I think. I also just don't like competition generally. It's not particularly engaging to me. But I definitely understand why people are into it. Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is the only game where elemental confusions actually feel nice. Dark Souls 3, they're significantly less bad than Dark Souls 1, at least. Yeah, and you can buff infused weapons. You get a slight buff, an extra buff when you buff with the same element that you're infusing with, right? Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason I don't like RTS games. You watch League Worlds every year? Why? I'm trying to rationalize that, and I don't think I can. Manu, thank you so much. Whoa. I really appreciate that. The music? That's fair. I had to steal the number 2 spot via pay to win. I appreciate that very much. Oof, damage. I can probably knock her out of that, but I'm not going to try because I wasn't in a good position. Era from Undertale red and yellow? Does she have red and yellow? Or they? Do they have red and yellow? Oh god. I thought they were green and yellow. Oh, Undertale red and Undertale yellow. Oh, I thought you were talking about the colors of the character. I forgot that Undertale... Or there were, like, fan games named red and yellow. I don't watch that many people play video games. For how much I love video games in general and how much I used to watch people play games. I kind of only watch Game Grumps occasionally, and like, I don't know, if I see someone playing a game that I really like at the time, like I've been watching a lot of Bushy streams or VODs, you know, playing Night Rain because I've been so into Night Rain recently, but I just don't watch people play games super often anymore. Even with like Dark Souls, I used to watch Dark Souls challenge runs constantly, which is why I started making them in the first place. But then once I started making them, I didn't want to watch them anymore. I still do occasionally if someone has like a really engaging idea that I think is like really fun to see someone else do, or if like somebody happens to do the same kind of run that I do or did the same kind of run that I'm working on, I'll watch their run afterward. And see what they did different, because I think that's really interesting and fun. But most of what I watch on YouTube now is like video essays. Binding of Isaac stuff. I wanted to like Binding of Isaac. I used to love it. Like, I played it when I was, I don't know, 13 maybe younger. And I liked it. I thought it was super fun, but when I tried to go back to it, like, I don't know, 5 years later, I just could not get into it. I watch the Minecraft content too. Not very much, but like, Ria is super into Minecraft content, and I'll watch stuff she sends me or whatever sometimes. I'll usually have a YouTube video up in the background if I'm not actively talking to someone, but at this point I end up talking to people a lot. And if I'm not talking to someone, it's probably because I'm recording something. So, I don't know. I just don't get much time to watch YouTube videos anymore. Not that I like could choose to not or whatever, but or that I could choose to go watch YouTube instead of talking to someone. It's just that I don't know. The people I talk to, I prefer talking to over watching YouTube. So. Fall into the pipeline of not at can movements. Social butterfly is a strong word. I talk to the same like 3 people every day. It's not it's not like I talk to a bunch of different people. The only reason I'm okay with being social on streams and stuff, or like even in my Discord server, is because people come to me. Right? I have a really, really hard time going to other people and being social. But when people specifically come to my streams to watch me play a video game, it's so much easier to just be like, oh, hey, we like the same things. And you seem to enjoy this idea that I'm engaging with. So now it's very easy to talk to you and be social. But when it's like, oh God, this person is talking about something I like. How do I engage? How do I start without being annoying or weird or saying something stupid? So definitely not social butterfly. Oh my God, Krista. The last several people that I would call friends that I have made friends with started talking to me first, so. Trans girls that play Magic and cuddles. That's peak, really. Yeah, Krista is getting away with quite a bit. I live in a fairly populated city. I mean, I live in Seattle, right? So there's a lot of people around me, but the vast majority of people I know are online. And that doesn't really bother me because it's like I would rather engage with and talk to and have fun with people online who, you know I'm going to be really, really good friends with, rather than a couple of random people I meet in person who happen to share an interest or two. So. The spray bottle for Krista. I don't know if I'm able to add YouTube emotes. I don't know what I would need to be able to do that, actually. It might be like a membership thing. Like I need a certain number of members. I did say Seattle. I live in Seattle. Seattle, Washington. Being any more specific than that would basically be doxing myself, but, you know. So, I live in a very populated city with a fairly high queer population. Not as high as, you know, some other cities. Probably not even as high as Portland, but a lot of gay people here. Pretty cool. 7 TV? What's that? I have no idea what that is. I'm also afraid of talking to people and making friends, but only because I suck at initiating. Oh, like the custom emote thing, right? I don't think there is. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. Because you had to emphasize it, really. I sent twice for the emphasis. I don't know how much that would matter. I'll have to look into it to see if I can add custom emotes, and if I can, the spray bottle is the first one. Lesbian activities. That's my favorite thing. I love lesbian activities. Oh my God, Krista! Thank you so much. Krista! Jesus. Thank you. Abob. Congratulations, S. Abob, Lamb, Powdered Sugar, and generic name. Can't believe you're giving her ideas. In terms of like algorithm stuff, I'm pretty sure giving me money does help the algorithm. However, if you don't have money, smooth segue. You can like the stream if you're enjoying this and want to help me be able to do this more and not have to worry about living. So, you know, if you are enjoying your time, please do like the stream. It helps genuinely quite a lot. On top of all the other algorithm stuff. I think chatting more also makes the stream... Oh my god. Makes the stream more likely to be promoted to other people and whatever, so... Or even just like clicking the share button and copying the link or whatever. No pressure by any means, but any extra little nudge I can get is greatly appreciated. Don't worry, there is no obligation to help me grow, but I mean, the sooner we get to 10,000 subscribers, the sooner you get to see me with a face cam on while drunk playing Dark Souls. So, you know, if you want to see that, subscribe if you're not. We're 120 something, 117. I don't know. We're still like, or 200 something. I don't know. I think we're like 200 subscribers away from 10k. I don't remember the exact number. But we're pretty close. Booking tickets for it. I feel like that would stop being a Dark Souls stream very quick if you were there. 220 something? Okay. I don't know. I was told by another SoulsTuber, Spelunker, that they don't count views from people with ad blockers. I don't know how true that is. Something about the back end, which is almost definitely a lie if it is true, that they don't count views from people with ad blockers, but I mean, not having an ad blocker would give me more money anyway, so I don't know. I don't know how that works, because I am pretty sure that streams do count people with ad blockers, but I don't know if videos do. I don't know how any of that works, frankly. YouTube pretty much destroyed ad blockers? I thought there were still a few that worked. I've had premium for years at this point. Just because I watch YouTube constantly. Sending money every time you wanted to see Calamite? True. I mean, like, to be fair... Wait, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't need to go in there. To be fair, 1,000 views is worth like $1 or something. The click-through, like, ad money rate is not super great, especially right now. So... Giving me money supports me a lot more than you would think. Even tiny amounts of money is worth hundreds, if not thousands of views, so... You have more than made up for that, for sure. I also have a coffee, link in the description if you want to give me money without giving your stuff to YouTube, which is totally understandable. But, again, no obligation to give me money by any means. That damage is quite funny. Sorry, Einstein, if you're still here, but I don't think this is going to be a very long fight. I don't know. I've been wanting to do other stuff. Like, tomorrow, I kind of want to try streaming Sonic 06 on my second channel. I don't know how well a second channel stream would do. I don't think I care, to be honest. I think it would just be fun to stream something other than Dark Souls. But I don't know how well I'm going to be able to play with that kind of thing. I think that would be a very fun stream to do, though. Especially because I still really want to make that Sonic 06 video, and it's so much work. I'm not far into the game, and I have well over 10,000 words. If only to hate. I have a second channel. There's a link to it if you go to my channel page and click the About, if you click See More in the About, it'll give you a link to my second channel. There's also a link to it at the end of all my videos in like the end card section. Don't worry, my 8-hour video defending Sonic 06 will change everyone's minds that Sonic 06 is actually the best Sonic game ever made. I genuinely, unironically adore Sonic 06. It is my favorite Sonic game, full stop, unironically. It's so much fun. I love Sonic 06. And I know that I'm the only person in the world who thinks that, but that's okay, because I will prove it. Microwave game? Oh, Black Knight? Yeah. Black Knight is my second favorite Sonic game. I adore Sonic in the Black Knight, but Sonic 06, I just like the gameplay more. So. Speaking of other stuff that I have that people might not know about, I also have a Discord, and there's a link to that in the description. So, I think that's all the links for stuff that I have for stuff that isn't YouTube, or that isn't this channel on YouTube specifically. I also have a music channel. There's a link to that in my About section as well. I only have one album uploaded, but I don't know, some people like it. I like it. It's kind of just out there so I can share my music because it's such a big creative outlet for me. But, so, you know, still no obligation to, like, watch it or whatever. But if you are inclined to. I'm sure the vast majority, if not literally everyone in my Discord, will agree. Seal. Including me, probably. Sonic Boom is the best. I prefer the Crush 40 version of Sonic Boom, I think. Never played a Sonic game for more than 15 minutes. That was true of me for a long time. I always preferred the character of Sonic to, like, most other video game characters, but I don't know. It was a very long time before I started actually playing Sonic games, just because they're significantly harder than a lot of other games. They were rather significantly harder for me than a lot of other games because I just did not grasp the concept of them as a child. But now I've beat a significant number of Sonic games. Chili dog fan? Of course. I'm autistic for Sonic the Hedgehog. Of course I like chili dogs. The Sonic DS games, Sonic Rush, so I think I prefer Sonic Colors DS to any of the other DS games, but Sonic Rush is really fun. I haven't beat that yet. The final boss of Sonic Story is atrocious. Otherwise, though, Sonic Rush is really good. And I haven't played Sonic Rush Adventure at all, because I want to finish Sonic Rush first, but in order to do that, I'd have to fight the final boss of Sonic Story, which I don't want to do. But yeah, Sonic Colors DS is one of my favorite Sonic games. Also, I think Sonic Colors DS is better than normal Sonic Colors. Wii Sonic Colors. Sonic isn't in a rush. He's never in a rush, actually. Kind of like part of his character. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Oh my god. Lucky Dragon, thank you so much. That's a lot of money. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Dragon's Dogma. Oh my god, there's so much money. Okay, so Dragon's Dogma. I think I played the one that you were talking about at one point. I didn't get into it super far. I had a little bit of fun when I played it. I just like didn't stick with it too much. I'm not sure how, like, if I did a stream of that, it would be like a blind playthrough thing. I'm not, like, eventually I definitely want to branch out and do a bunch of other stuff, right? I'm still very much into Dark Souls and have a lot of stuff in Dark Souls that I want to do, but I'll definitely consider that for sure. And then PS2 memory cards. Thank you so much for the $4.99. I did give the Hydra a good bonk. Didn't even have to. I think it was only 4 hits, right? It was a very fast Hydra fight. Thank you so much. There is a Sonic Colors for DS, and it is incredible. It's genuinely such a good game. Like, even outside the context of Sonic Colors Wii, I do think it's better than Sonic Colors Wii, but I also just think it's a great Sonic game. I do need to finish Liza P. That is another one that I need to do, but I wanted to do a playthrough of that like I did with Dark Souls 3, and like I'm working on with Dark Souls 2. But I don't know. I've already played a lot of it, and so I don't think that format would fit anymore. And it's not really a game that I would want to do a challenge runs with. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever make content on Liza P, but I do definitely want to finish it. It's a fun game. Play horror games. I did Outlast and Layers of Fear with Anthony on AA batteries years ago. I'm awful at horror. I'm not good with horror games by any means, though. A blind playthrough of Dragon's Dogma would be cool, or Dark Arisen specifically. Yeah, are there other Dragon's Dogma games? I don't know. I've only played a little bit of Dark Arisen. Yeah, Sonic Colors DS has a couple different wisps. The final boss fight is completely different. The story of it is a little bit different. Yeah. Liza P is really good. It's very, very different from what you would expect in any Dark Souls game or whatever, but so far, of what I played of Liza P, I definitely prefer Thymesia, which has a similar gameplay loop, if different in terms of build and stuff. Liza P has a lot more build variety and stuff like that. Thymesia's a lot more straightforward, but I enjoyed the bosses in Thymesia quite a bit more. But Liza P is still very, very good. Vocation? I have no idea what vocations there are, which I assume are the classes in Dragon's Dogma. I have a hard time liking anything more than Dark Souls, but that's probably because I'm autistic, if I'm being honest. Yeah, Dark Souls is... I don't want to call it unique among ARPGs, but it's definitely in its own class in a lot of ways. So it's definitely something that, like, you could like despite not liking most ARPGs. I definitely get that. The next Sonic game is good. Me too. I so badly want to play a Sonic Dream Team. That's like... It's so frustrating that it's only on Apple Arcade. That makes me so sad. I really, really want to play Sonic Dream Team, but I just can't. Bubsy 64? There's a Bubsy 64? I knew there was a Bubsy 3D. That's on PlayStation, isn't it? Dark Arisen, Dragon Dogma Online is being reconstructed via fans, and Dogma 2 is great. It's just also just too much. Yeah, that's how a lot of sequels are, in my opinion. There are very few sequels that I think add to the first game that I feel like aren't too much. I love Mirror's Edge, and I also like Mirror's Edge Catalyst, but it's so much, and I think that applies to a lot of sequels. Halo 2 is less like that, because I do really like Halo 2, but I just prefer CE because of how simplified and distilled it is. That's partially a product of its time, being one of the first shooters like it. But the stuff that Halo 2 added just is a lot less fun, in my opinion. So yeah, I definitely get that. Dark Souls does scratch a certain itch, I agree. A Dark Souls ARG, that would be awesome. If I was smart enough to make an ARG, I would be tempted to do that. Okay, yeah, Dark Souls 2 is really, really good. Very, very good sequel. I think they added, like, just the perfect amount. I know a lot of people... I know that Dark Souls 2 wasn't, like, a Miyazaki thing. Wait, where am I going? I'm going to the Four Kings. I know it isn't a Miyazaki thing, so it's not, like... It's more of a spiritual successor than anything, to be honest, but I think Dark Souls 2 is exactly what I wanted out of Dark Souls 1 in a lot of ways, even though Dark Souls 1 does have its own charm that Dark Souls 2 doesn't carry for a lot of things. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I love Dark Souls 2 though. Hello Nevin, welcome. Yeah, Sonic Dream Team looks very, very fun, but I don't know. Sonic Rumble is coming out soon, right? And that's a free-to-play one. That's gonna be on Steam. It's not... I don't think it's gonna be anything like Dream Team. I think it's more like a... Isn't it like a Sonic Fall Guys kind of thing? I don't know. I'll definitely try it out, but I probably won't play it too much if I'm being honest. Yeah, big bonk time. Halo 1 is shockingly difficult. I finished Halo 1, 2, 3, started ODST and Reach, which I didn't particularly love 3 ODST. 3 ODST or Reach, but 3 was my favorite of those 3. Lots of 3s going on. But I don't know. I think what got me is ODST, the levels. After Halo CE, right, where all the levels are like connected and everything, you go back through it, which makes it feel even more connected. I don't know. I really like CE for that. How constructed the world feels, as opposed to 2, 3, and whatever that have disconnected levels. And with ODST, where that becomes extremely obvious and part of the story, it made me really not enjoy the the world construction of ODST. On top of just not enjoying the exploration sections and finding the levels themselves kind of underwhelming in a lot of ways. I played the closed network test of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. It's alright. I don't know. It feels like a pretty standard racing game in a lot of ways. I didn't find it particularly engaging or unique in any way that would make me want to play the full version, to be honest. There is a new demo that I might play, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's not even that... I wasn't saying that Dark Souls 2 isn't a Miyazaki thing, because I think Miyazaki is incredible and infallible or whatever. It's more like it wasn't necessarily the original intention of the creator of Dark Souls. So it's not purely a perfect sequel to what Dark Souls was supposed to be, but it is what I wanted out of Dark Souls, so I don't really care. Oh, that's not good. I don't have enough stamina for this. Okay. Oh my god, yeah, I've been playing Skate a lot more than I thought I would. I've been really enjoying Skate. I'm not sure why. I really thought I would dislike it. Or not even dislike it, but I thought I wouldn't enjoy it nearly as much as I do, but I've been playing it quite a bit. I have all 3 areas unlocked, and I'm still really enjoying just doing random missions for whatever reason. Yeah, the world design of Dark Souls 1 is heavily unique among games in general. That might hit me. It did not. Let alone the other Souls games. Dark Souls 2 is also slightly interconnected, but not in the same way. The world design of Dark Souls 1 is just beyond any game I've ever played otherwise. I know a lot of people really love Halo Reach because of the story. It didn't capture me, but I also didn't get super far into Reach. I think I got like 3 or 4 missions in. Yeah, Coach Frank got obliterated and replaced. That's the worst part of Skate. That's true. Repeat skateboard pellets. I mean, I liked that one skateboard game that I did that video on. What was that game called? Stunt Boost. I really like Stunt Boost. That was fun. Gotta do the co-op missions now? I don't even try to do the co-op missions. Sometimes I'll play with someone and, like, you know, happen to get the co-op missions done, but generally I just hop in, do a few missions solo and get off. And then I'll get, like, an hour later, I'll be like, oh, I want to play Skate. Hello, Nevin. Okay, let me level up a bit. Do I want more strength? Do I care to have more strength? I'm gonna get a little bit more endurance, I guess. And then we can do the archives. Have to finish Reach to understand it all. I'm sure I'll finish it eventually, probably. Yeah, I also need to progress the story, but I don't like the story missions because they're incredibly easy. Ruby is getting off. It happens more often than you would think. I F, you said or you typed Pillar of Autumn, and my brain was like, ah yes, the Pillar of Autism, my favorite. Pasako number 3. Hi. Welcome. Maybe that's why Reach didn't get to me, because like that's something, at least hasn't so far, because that's something that I've already thought about through everything else in my life, and that's just like not something unique to the game, and I don't think it could do it in a way that would be uniquely engaging to me. That's probably part of the reason that I didn't super love New Vegas either, Fallout, or Fallout in general. I didn't get into the story of any of those games, just because like it's a parody and satire on something that I've already thought about extensively and understand more than a satirical story could give me. Like the story just wasn't engaging, but it also just was like the characters weren't engaging. Well, not to me anyway. So I don't know. The only trans woman in the world who doesn't like New Vegas. Well, yeah, but it's kind of part of the reason I don't like Fallout either, you know? It doesn't feel like anything more than that, because everything else that it has going for it, I'm just not... I've already engaged with enough to not get anything new from it. I played quite a bit of Silksong. I've gotten to the end. I think I'm at the end of Act 2, basically. Nearly. I need to do a little bit more for Act 2, and I have most, if not all, of the movement upgrades. I don't know, like, what else I could unlock. I'm sure there is something more, I just don't know what it could be. I have all the, like, quintessential ones at the very least. I've liked it, but it's been getting harder and harder to go back to it for whatever reason, and I really don't know why. I really, really loved it when I first started. One of the two who didn't like New Vegas, right? My bad. Sorry. The best weapon? So far, I definitely wouldn't call it the best weapon. I prefer the Great Club for various reasons, such as the AR just being higher, with a very, very, very similar, if not exactly the same moveset. But I'm not disliking it. It's a very fun weapon. It does a lot of damage, and I mean, it's a big stick, big bonk, so. Only like New Vegas because you're a big stereotype? That's fair, to be honest. I should put on this. Reinforced Club? I've used... Oh my god, so much damage. I've used Reinforced Club in a Soul Level 1 playthrough. That's kind of it. I'm gonna be using the club in my starter weapons playthroughs, right? And I'm pretty excited for that, but... You talking about Silksong, Krista? I mean, that's not the only reason I like it, but that's part of the reason I mean, you're the reason I started playing it in the first place anyway. Fallout 3 is fine, and also the reason I have a weird obsession with the mythology of baseball. That's fair. Oh, Great Club, right. Also that. Again, I have other reasons to prefer it, but that is part of it. Alright, Pasako. Get ready. Yeah, I love the moveset. Like, the moveset of the club is incredibly simple, but I love it so much because of that. I think the H-Bomber guy's video about Fallout 3 is my favorite Harris Bomber guy video. Be very careful to not kill this one. That's oh. I need to separate them. There we go. I definitely won't die to a grab attack this time. Oh my god, a combo? That's crazy. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I mean, the thing with the reinforced club is it's just kind of worse than the club, right? Because it doesn't scale. Or I mean, it doesn't scale nearly as well. It has better base damage, which makes it better for soul level 1. Yep. Ugh. Only leveling strength with a reinforced club? I mean, the normal club would just be better for that, right? I guess that's part of the point. No, I can't pierce them, but it's still back shots. Oh, my voice broke when I said that. Probably deservedly. Bonk. The reason that I always get grabbed by one is because they are um, very normal reasons, actually. Very, very normal reasons that I get grabbed by one. And it's the third one specifically because the third Pasaka specifically is currently in the chat. Or, well, was in the chat, I guess. Is that the Man Serpent Greatsword? Oh my goodness. 2 incredible weapon drops extremely quickly in this run. That's crazy. No, it's very normal reasons. It's very, very normal. Very normal. I assure you, very normal. Luck run confirmed. I've only leveled up luck. I kind of want to do a run like that in Dark Souls 3 with like Honorary Straight Sword or whatever, but I don't know. That doesn't seem super interesting, especially since that's probably something that a lot of people have already done. But I'm also just like really bad at Dark Souls 3. So... the opposite of last run where there was no cheating. True. I definitely did not cheat. There's been 0 cheating this run. I can just do that. Being the oldest person there and looking like a creep. I mean, I don't know. I know that I know a lot of people who are not young who like Baby No Money. Baby Nos. But I don't know. I like his vibe, and his music is definitely very brain scratchy, and I get why so many neurodivergent people like his music, but it's really just not for me. I really wish it was, though, because it is, again, it's very brain scratchy for sure. His unhinged cosplays. I'd be shocked if the vast majority of his fans were not neurodivergent. Audio was a cryptocurrency. I mean, with a $sign in your name, yeah. That makes sense. Baby no Miku. Okay. Best area in the game coming up, the Crystal Caves. Cinnamon roll? Like the bunny? The animated bunny? Or is there a different one? Or is it just like the pastry? Okay. You live again. Oh yeah, because I rested. I forgot I hadn't rested till then. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our encounter. From Samia? Okay, yeah. I was thinking the other one, the independent animator, who has the, I think it's a yellow bunny. I didn't know there was a Sanrio character named Cinnamon Roll. I feel like I should have known that. Yeah, Iron Mouse to come to his track. I forgot Iron Mouse existed. There are a lot of artists that I've like seen because they're popular, and then I just like don't think about them ever. Like, they exist. The most popular character? That makes sense. I don't know. I have known people, including partners, who do engage with Sanrio, but it's never really been my thing. You know, I don't know why I didn't speed up through here, but it's fine. You would go if Iron Tarkus was there. Yeah, exactly. I know people who do enjoy Sanrio. I don't know. I don't dislike it. Just never been something that I have gone out of my way to engage with personally. I'll wait for... I think I'm gonna let him break it, just so I can get a bunch of damage. I don't think there's a clam in here. Oh, there is a clam in here. I'm gonna let the clam break the crystal because it's funny. Ooh, I'm pretty sure Thief is weak to strike damage. I'm not entirely positive on that though. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Gonna get this guy to turn around a little bit. Hello? Hello? I didn't even know the clams could break the crystal until last stream, so... I think I'm gonna do that every time a clam gets in now. At least I'm gonna try to. Depending on the weapon I'm using. You know, I understand why YouTube didn't block that comment. I kind of wish it would have. Getting his tail is the hardest part of the fight, and even then, it's not that hard. More strength is funnier. Warp to Firelink, and we're gonna do God of Chaos now. Yeah, as someone who is not at all into Sanrio, Hello Kitty is definitely one that I recognized. I kind of assumed that he was the most popular, but I don't know. I did also know about Kuromi, to be fair. Somebody on the Fextra Life Wiki. I go through the Fextra Life Wiki comments to like figure out what I should put in the stream title, or I mean in the thumbnail. And they said someone said something about gripping the weapon weird. And like I noticed that when I was making the thumbnail too. It's they're sure grabbing it. I don't know. I definitely know of more stuff involving Hello Kitty than Kuromi. I just know that Kuromi exists. So Hello Kitty cinematic universe. Yeah. Sanrio is like the like company name or whatever that made it, right? I'm not actually sure. I have no idea. That's kind of what I've always assumed though. company, yeah? Okay. I actually don't have my stream stuff up. Hold on. I just realized that. We're almost 2 hours into the stream and I didn't have the analytics up on my screen. There were 300 characters. I had no idea that there were that many. Aren't there like cartoons or something too? I don't know. Again, something I've never engaged with, so. Big health, tiny stamina. I mean, it's not like my stamina is exactly low. It's just half my stamina, or my health, I mean. I think big stamina, tiny health is also pretty funny. To be fair, that's what, like, Transformers were as well. Transformers or cartoons were also 100% just advertisement for the toys. And among other things, I'm sure. Might as well rest here. Arguably funnier because stamina is harder to get higher, exactly. Yeah, My Little Pony, He-Man, Thundercats. A lot of, especially older cartoons, were very much just advertisements. A monkey that looks like he's on crystal stuff. Did it censor the name of the actual drug? Yeah, G.I. Joe. I feel like, I don't know how true it is, but I feel like a lot of newer cartoons focus on the media itself now as the thing that they're selling, right? Because TV has become a lot more lucrative. Or not TV. TV has become a lot less, but like media, visual media has become a lot more lucrative than selling toys, I'm sure, at this point. Maybe not significantly, but it's grown. Seats love for G.I. Joes. That one checks out. Bonk. I wasn't expecting that to be a one-shot. I'm glad it was. Significantly funnier. Doesn't Demon Fire Sage actually have less health than the Stray Demon? I'm not sure how true that is. Owie. I thought I'd have enough range for that. Okay, I did have enough range. I was just in the wrong spot. There we go. I feel like if they made the Demon Fire Sage, like, attack a little bit faster, not significantly, but a little bit, it would be more obviously distinct from the Stray Demon in terms of its speed. Because it is definitely, like, it jumps around a lot more. It moves a lot more than the Stray Demon, but because it has the same speed of attacks, people just kind of assume that it's a copy-paste, which, like, effectively, but... Solar pellets get slapped by thick worm live on stream. Yep. Capitalism made you do it. Yeah. I've had a lot of instances where my weapon was broken because of the worms. The worm spit. Actually, my very first playthrough ever, I was using the Crystal Straight Sword. I got through Quelaag just fine. And then I went straight down to the demon ruins because it was my first playthrough with a crystal straight sword. And the worm spit on me. And I had to climb up out of the demon ruins, out of Blighttown, and back up into Firelink with no weapons, which in your first playthrough is not fun. I mean, it was fun. I loved it. But it was very scary. Oh. Worm gank just made you never get the Chaos Ember again? That's fair. I'll get it every now and then. Like, it's rare that I do any infusions, but I've done Chaos a couple times, but I hate getting that Ember, and I'll always make sure I have a bone before I do it. There's a lot of parts to the military entertainment complex. The Gaints Grave. In the Tomb of the Giants? I think I also did that, actually. Maybe not. I don't remember. I did definitely have to climb out of the Tomb of the Giants extremely early in one of my very early playthroughs. You climbed back up through normal Blighttown? That's tragic. Dog water undercooked areas, huh? I disagree. I really, really like Last Izalith, despite the fact that it's obviously very unfinished. I think it being unfinished, like, really adds to the level, actually. I know I'm weird for that, but I really like Last Izalith. That's what I do, Seal. It's not that hard. It's not like I have thousands of hours, or well over 1,000 hours across hundreds of different playthroughs or anything. Just memorize Tomb of the Giants. I do really like Tomb of the Giants. I like most of the second half of Dark Souls, which is unfortunately an extremely uncommon opinion. But that's like 99% of my opinions with Dark Souls 1 anyway. Like making the dragon butts battle to the death. I didn't even know they could hurt each other. That's really funny. The beginning of Dark Souls 1 is the best part for the first, like, 10 playthroughs. And then the second half becomes fun, in my opinion. Because, like, when you're learning the routing and everything, it's like, oh my god, you can do that? That's crazy. And then you figure out everything you can do and everywhere you can go. And it's like, okay, well, now I just want to fight the bosses and see what this weapon is like, you know? Which I only started doing after I started doing challenge runs, admittedly. The only part you don't like in the second half is Lost Izalith. I feel like it's pretty fortunate, considering all of it can be skipped, and also it's probably the shortest of the Lord areas. Imperfect from Dark Souls 2. Yeah, that's basically what these are. Just without... No, I was going to say without good movesets, but the Imperfect also have terrible movesets, so... The Anor Londo is considered the halfway point, so yeah, anything post Anor Londo is the second half of Dark Souls. They just don't have a mouth, yeah, and they can't spit weird projectiles that have dumb hitboxes at you. Okay. I don't know, I'm not sure why I still like playing Dark Souls 1, because at this point a lot of the playthroughs are very similar. But like, it's just so nice to just sit here and play through my favorite game of all time, you know? And like, how it still held the crown of my favorite game of all time after, you know, years and years of playing this game over and over and over and over, to the point where I've been doing it once a week for almost 2 years now. Like, I don't know how it's done it, but I love it. there's just something about this game that really scratches my autism. It's very, very good in a lot of ways that I am particularly attracted to. Well, I hope you have a good night, Seal, and sleep well. Thank you for being here while you could. Duke's Archives is the only fun post-Lord Vessel level. I think Duke's Archives is the least fun to explore. Like, first playthrough, it's nice. But even then, I think just how different the Tomb of the Giants is to every other area, how much New Londo changes after lowering the water, and how barren Lost Isleth are make them all significantly more fun to explore than the Duke's Archives. Okay. Have a good night, Krista. Hope you sleep well. Thank you for being here as well. And thank you for all the money. Just having a cockfight between the giant dragon butts. Tomb of the Giants being dark is what makes it fun to explore, because you have to actually be engaged the whole time, instead of just looking and saying, oh, item, and then walking over there. You have to, like, pay attention. Lost Isleth being empty makes it really fun to explore, because you find weird little spots, and I like it a lot. Alright, thank you for being here. See if I can remember how to pronounce it. Matthias, I think you said. Hope you have fun doing whatever it is you're doing. Ow. I love Blighttown, yeah. I don't know, I don't dislike the bottom of Blighttown at all. The top of it is significantly more fun, for sure. But bottom of Blighttown has a lot of interesting things going on with it. In terms of how you're supposed to explore it and the ways that you can get around the more annoying parts of it. Yeah, I rarely get the rusted ironing, but that's just because the poison doesn't bother me. First of all, because I hardly ever go through it, which is part of the reason that I like Lower Blighttown, because you have no reason to explore it a lot of the time, which you can only learn via experience, which is one of my favorite things about this game. It has so many things that you can only learn via experience, you know? But also, if you do want to explore it, there are so many tools to just make it trivial. Which, I get, like the rusted iron ring is part of that. Boing. Okay. Now we do Nito, and then DLC. And the thing about Demon Ruins and Last Isleth being similar to Blighttown, they're the same level. Like, if you sort it like Demon Souls, which is how this game is designed, right? You have effectively Boletaria up through Anor Londo, and then the 4 Lord Soul areas are like the other 4 Archstones. That's what they're called. I wanted to say Archthrones, but obviously that's a Dark Souls 3 mod. So you have the Tomb of the Giants, or you have the Catacombs and the Tomb of the Giants, which is like Shrine of Storms? No. They're not like direct parallels, but they are all very similar, right? Obviously, Blighttown down through Lost Isleth is very similar to Valley of Defilement. Duke's Archives is very similar to, like, I don't know which ones I would draw parallels between, because they do all like share design languages in a lot of different ways, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's direct parallels, but they are very, very similar to each other. And if you sort it like that, it makes sense that the levels are so similar to each other. And And it also makes it feel better that they are similar. I guess I would compare this more to like the mine area, I forget what it's called. The second Archstone. Rather than Shrine of Storms, but yeah, Latria is very much like the Archives. That's true. Die of old age before you get the Trident. The Trident isn't that bad. If you have 10 humanity and the Gold Serpent Ring, I think it's like a 4% chance drop or something. It gets a lot higher than 1%. I really like the fact that Dark Souls NPCs are so obscure and difficult to do the quest lines of. Oh my god, I'm getting bone wheeled. This hasn't happened for so long. I like the fact that Dark Souls NPCs are very difficult to follow because they're just like exploring the world like you are. And coming upon them by chance is like part of what makes our quest lines so interesting and engaging to me. I have 50 homeward bones? Jesus. I don't usually use homeward bones to farm. Oops. Now watch me get obliterated by the fireballs. 2 hits. Yeah. Yeah, they're just like around. That's a good way to put it. Like, I don't know, like with Solera, I think Solera's is probably the easiest to follow. And you still have to find this like random walkway down in Lost Izalith that happens to lead past a Titanite demon. And then that leads to Solera. Or you have to engage, you have to specifically join this one covenant, and then level up that covenant. And then, oh my god, that was scary. And then you have to go to this one random door that you can interact with that only has the interact prompt if you have... That doesn't even look like a door, it just looks like a wall. If you have the levels in the Covenant that you need for that, right? So even then, I think that's pretty esoteric, and I think I really like that, because the only way you're going to find that quest is either by someone telling you about it, which is part of why it's so esoteric, but also just like coming upon it by chance is such a cool and engaging thing to happen, and with how many people played this game, that was just guaranteed to happen at some point. On top of like the guides, right? I think this game was also designed around having guides that people would buy and share stuff from online and all that. Yeah, you're not supposed to specifically go out of your way for NPC quests. That's not how they're designed. That's not why they're designed the way they are. If you're specifically going out of your way for NPC quests, it's because you know what they drop. Or what they give you if you do the quest, right? And if you know what you're getting out of the quest and you're specifically going out of your way for it, then you know how to do the quest because somebody told you. Or you're looking it up online, which is how they're designed. RNG? What? Siegmeyer doesn't have any RNG in his quest at all. Do you mean like dying in the poison? Just kill them before you go down there. Shoot them from up top. I don't know. There's so many ways you can just bypass that part if you don't like it. I've done Siegmeyer's quest. I've done mostly for Emit Force, and then I stopped doing it, but I've done it all the way through once. I've done Solaire's quest. I've done... I've never done Laurentius's, actually. I'm trying to think of what other quests I have done. Because I definitely haven't done all of them. Not by any means. I don't know. I really like all the quests. Yeah, you do have to do part of Siegmeyer's quest to have all the miracles. Have I done patches? I have done patches just because his store is very useful. Oh. Okay. Bonk. That was very good time to bonk on my part. This damage is very stupid. Oh, I didn't think that would hit me. Okay, here we go. A chance to heal. Yeah, you're not supposed to know about the quest. You're not even supposed to know that NPCs have quests. And when you are, they explicitly tell you where they're going, or they're in a very obvious area. You're not supposed to know that you can save Solaire by killing this random bug. You're supposed to come upon Solaire dead with the bug. You're supposed to, in another playthrough, realize, oh hey, I can kill this bug before Solaire gets here. I wonder if that would do anything. And then realize that you can save Solaire and have a whole extra part of his questline. It's not like you're supposed to, like, go to every single dead end every single time you talk to any NPC. You're just engaging with the quest in a way that the developers didn't intend, you know? Okay, time for DLC. You are supposed to do them. But you're not supposed to go out of your way to do them. That's why the quests are so interesting. They're interesting because they're unique, not because you're failing to engage with them in a way that makes them interesting to you specifically. And then by the time you get to the point that you know if you want to do a questline, you already know how to do the questline, so it being esoteric doesn't even matter. If you're going out of your way to do the quest, then you're not engaging with the quest like the developers intended, unless you specifically already know what you're going to get out of that quest. You're not going to even know that an NPC has a quest unless you have looked it up. In which case you already know what the quest is, so it being esoteric doesn't matter. I have randomly done Izigmeyer's and Solaire's quests, for sure. I've randomly done Quaylana's as well. Trying to think of what others. There aren't that many that I engage with. I've done... I don't know if Kirk counts as a quest, the 3 invasions that you get, but to get the Thorn Armor, you do have to do all 3 invasions, and I've done that on accident. So it's not even like all the esoteric things are very possible to do by chance. Just because you're not going to in one playthrough doesn't mean that nobody ever has in any playthrough ever, you know? Guardian Tail, best weapon in the game. I've never actually used Guardian Tail. I want to use it after my Notch Whip playthrough. Congratulations, Finn! Got the most annoying weapon for Knight's Honor. I know many, many people who have organically, accidentally gone through Lucatiel's quest just because they were summoning her whenever they saw her. That is very much a thing that people have done. Only Black Knight weapons left. Those are pretty easy to get to because they kill them. Okay. I want to do Calamite this time. Because Calamite is weak to strike damage, so I think it'll be funny. Yeah, Souls games are very much about replayability. If you don't like replaying the games, then it's not for you, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to like the quest, but it's not poorly designed because you specifically don't like it because of the way that you specifically engage with the game. Like, I don't know, using one weapon, or like even experimenting with a bunch of weapons in one playthrough gets you nothing out of Souls. You get a decent, like a really, really good ARPG with a bunch of different bosses that are really fun, and that's it. Okay, then you played the game in a way that you wouldn't have appreciated Lucatiel's quest anyway. When I played Elden Ring the first time, I specifically did a spell sword build so I could engage with the game as much as possible. I leveled up my intelligence and I think strength as much as I could. And that let me engage with a good bit of the game. But there's still so many things that I didn't even think to try in my first Elden Ring playthrough, right? Like that, playing that game once is genuinely doing a disservice to how much you can enjoy that game. They're not dumb, you just don't like engaging with them. That's baffling to say. The quests where you need to summon are some of the most beloved quests in these games for a reason. You're supposed to summon. You're not supposed to tough out the bosses on your own. They're not supposed to be hard games. Just because you're engaging with them like that doesn't mean that that's how they were intended to be played. And even though you can play them like that, and it is very fun to play them like that, and it is how I personally enjoy playing them as well, like, just because you couldn't engage with one thing while doing that doesn't mean that that thing is dumb. You just didn't engage with it. That's fine. The first hot femme NPC. Yeah. Understandable. I don't know. I feel like Dark Souls 1 didn't really give me an NPC that I latched onto on my first playthrough, outside of, like, Solaire because of the memes, and not even because I liked his character. As much as I did like his character. I didn't latch onto him at all, beyond the funny haha. Like, as I've played the game more and more, like, Laurentius is one of my favorite NPCs in any game ever. I love Anastasia, despite how little interaction you get with her as a player. I think Lautrec is a really fun NPC. I think Patches is a really fun NPC. In Dark Souls 1 specifically. I don't like Patches in the other games. I don't know. There are a bunch of NPCs in these games that I like now, but I didn't in my first playthrough. Yeah, the Ronnie ending was the one that I got in my first playthrough. Definitely. The best ending, for sure. Yeah, even NPCs that I'm supposed to hate. Like, you know, Lautrec. I think are just like fun NPCs. In the context of them being NPCs, obviously. Because that's the only context that I can engage with them in. There we go. Words are hard. Yeah. I like Patches in Dark Souls 1. You can read him as a pretty cool guy. Maybe not a pretty cool guy, but you can read him as a character with, like, intricacies. You definitely can just choose to not engage with the writing. That's fine too, I guess. I don't know. But Dark Souls 1 Patches is chill. The only reason he never hollowed is because he's killing people he thinks are bad. He has a purpose to life. Obviously he loots them, but gotta have some perks to the job. It's baffling to me that you can assume that there is one possible reading to any Dark Souls character. I am so baffled by that I got hit by the easiest Artorias attack to dodge. I read this Dark Souls character who is specifically intended to have multiple readings in this one way. Therefore, this one way is the correct way to read it. There is no other way to read it. Yes, of course. I also hate priests, to be fair. I share a mission statement with Patches. Yeah. That was a very fast Artorias fight. Yeah, I am doing Calamite, because I'm doing strike damage and I think it'll be funny. thought those messages were a vagrant for a second. I was so confused. I saw like the orange outline around the head of the bloathead. I don't even think a vagrant can spawn there. I know one can spawn down next to that sorceress, but I don't know where any other Ulysseal. Oh, there's a good vagrant near the empty chests. I found that one in the Unremarkable in Odd Places video. I pressed the roll button and it just didn't happen because I had just stopped running. I might have actually held it too long. Brain is functioning. Probably. I liked patches in Elden Ring in my first playthrough because nostalgia bait, and then I stopped liking patches in Elden Ring. He doesn't hate greedy people. He hates people that hurt people because they're greedy, which he does, but because he thinks it's justified. It's not that he is justified. I don't think he is justified in killing people because he thinks they're greedy. Not by any means. But I think it's really interesting that he thinks he's justified in it. That he has a whole life purpose and is able to not go hollow because he's stealing shit from people. I think that's a great character reading. I think that's super interesting. I don't think Patches is a justified, cool character who I would love to hang out with in real life. He's a bitch. Obviously, he's a bitch. But I like that. I think that's cool. As an NPC in a video game who I don't actually have to engage with in real life. Because why, in God's name, would I ever want to talk to anyone like Patches who kills people? Because he thinks he's justified. Yeah, I don't know. I think Patches is a fun cameo. And I like that he has a quest line in so many games, but I don't know. Patches killed Charlie Kirk. True. Yeah, Night Rain sucks. It doesn't have patches. True. I don't know why I love it so much. It's basically unplayable. I'm gonna go ahead and do this before I forget to. Just because you don't read him as having motivation doesn't mean he doesn't. Like, you're allowed to think that, I guess. But that's just not the only way to read the character. Get a spear that has a spear user. Isn't there a... I don't remember. I know that the DLC character, like, stats and stuff have been leaked. At least, I think they have. But I don't know how much we know about them. Hello, Lemon Ultra. Welcome. Glad you were able to make it. I hope you enjoy your time here. Alright, I don't think mana should be too difficult. Guardian Patches skin. Genius. Dude, that'd be pretty great. It'd be nice to have character classes for, like, a lot more weapon classes. Because right now it's just, like, the extremely basic ones. Great swords are a very basic one. Like, I would love a straight sword character. I don't know. I think great swords are like quintessential, and I love great swords, and Wilder is my favorite character because of that. On top of the movement that Wilder has, but obviously a very simple character. Very simple. Daggers are a very simple and quintessential weapon class. Bows are a very simple and quintessential weapon class. Yeah. Time zones are a bit rough for streams. Yeah, curved sword character would be cool. Curved swords are probably my favorite weapon class in Elden Ring, to be honest. A whip character would be awesome. having a special whip moveset that was just like way faster and just better. Like with Duchess and her daggers. I'm kind of shocked I dodged that, I'm gonna be honest. Oh. Hey, I dodged it. A fist weapon character would also be great. To be fair, Raider and Wilder can both use fist weapons pretty effectively, especially Raider. Because he has the very close range abilities. I don't like Dark Souls 3 curve swords. I like Dark Souls 1 curve swords because spell sorting is really fun, but spell sorting is not super fun in Dark Souls 3 in my opinion. So I just don't love curve swords that much. I don't like curve swords that much in Dark Souls 3. Granted, I haven't spent a ton of time using curve swords in Dark Souls 3, but... Oh yeah, there is not an invisible wall there, man. I didn't know there was a whip riposte in Night Rain. No, I did. There is. I did know that, but I don't remember what it is. That's what it. I think that's what I'm thinking. Because I've used the whip riposte. I love the bow riposte too. I think the bow riposte is like one of my favorite things that they added in Night Rain. Come on, do a jump attack. There we go. Wake up dusk because we're good people. Oh wait, I didn't mean to go to Firelink. I forgot I was doing Calamite. That's not the button I meant to press. Okay. I swear I know what I'm doing. You can't prove otherwise. Okay. I'm gonna speed up because I don't like running for 5 minutes to get to a single boss. Which is why I always activate Calamite early, to split up the interactions so that it feels better. I think I accidentally just turned off gravity for a second. Horror games? I think you're the second person to mention horror games this stream. No, not really. I don't do well with horror games. And also, even if I did, I think that wouldn't be super fun to watch. I don't know, horror games aren't my bread and butter necessarily. Alright. Haven't got the Black Knight Halberd. You will during the Calamite fight. That's just how it works. Calamite grants good luck. Actually, I don't remember if I've told this story on a stream anytime recently. There's an emote in my Discord, or an emoji in my Discord, called the Holy Cheerio. And the reason is, there's a really, really old video on my channel called The Cheerio Story, I think. And it was a clip of me playing Dark Souls, fighting Calamite, and telling a really, really, really long joke about Cheerios. And as soon as I finished the joke, I beat Calamite. So, that's where the Holy Cheerio comes from. The Holy Cheerio bringing luck. Let's see if I can first try all these DLC bosses. That'd be nice. I'm sure I've first tried all the DLC bosses before. I know I've done Manus and Calamite hit list back to back in a stream before, while arguing with the transphobe, so that was pretty great. Right in the cloaca. Oh god, stop lore walking at me. This is pretty crazy damage. Smashing Calamite. Oh, not hitless. That's unfortunate. That was extremely greedy. Bonk. Nearly hitless. Dark Souls 3 is a pretty good game. I love Dark Souls 3. I don't like Dark Souls 3 nearly as much as I like the other Dark Souls games, but I still really like Dark Souls 3. Okay. That was an incredibly fast Calamite fight. Didn't even get a butt slam attack. Truly tragic. What level am I? 72. Okay. If I was at 69, I wouldn't have leveled up, but I did level up after reaching 69, unfortunately. Do I have a... I do have the Hornet Ring on. Gonna level up one more time. Large club is shredding. Didn't get the halberd drawing it? No, I should have taken longer just for that. Just sitting there in the Calamite fight, attempting to survive while you farm for the halberd. It is not nearly every wall. There are a lot of walls that projectiles can just go through, but it is certainly not nearly every wall. And there are so few enemies that shoot projectiles, and even the ones that do should be taken out as your first priority. It's not that I'm excusing it, it's just really not that much of an issue most of the time. Let's see if I get the halberd first try. Shredding hog. What does that mean? Oh, you know, I do have 40 strength. I don't know how different the damage would be one-handing versus two-handing. 1128. I'll two-handed riposte next time. Oh my god, Krista. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. It's literally just not that big of an issue. The only time I've ever had an issue with it is at the top of that wall with the two crossbow knights and the other one, the big one. I think it's a halberd one. It was 1128. 1172? Okay, yeah, so that's like barely a difference. 3 shields and 5 great axes. Truly incredible. I think it was Jork in it. Okay, good to know. That explains why Krista said it. Can you parry the great axe jump attack? I'm not actually sure. Me when I'm bad at the video game. There we go. I didn't need a two-hand. I don't know why I did that. Instinct at this point. Hey, another shield. Oops. Partial. Another partial. This is tragic. My whole Dark Souls career is over. Hello, Jibno. Welcome. I got the helmet. I'm so sorry, Ben. That's tragic. I will answer clearly biased hate crime. Very much the Lex stream. I will answer whether or not this is better than the Great Club after Gwyn, just because that's when I, oh god, tend to... I also haven't thought about it very much, whether or not it's better than the Great Club, admittedly. Okay, 3 hits on Gwyn. To be honest... Oh, 4 hits, my bad. To be honest, I feel like just because the Great Club is a guaranteed drop and the Large Club is not by any means guaranteed, the Great Club is just kind of better in a lot of ways for that reason. Especially with how similar the moveset is, the fact that the Great Club just does more damage, the fact that they're both insanely heavy. So the slight weight difference between the two doesn't matter that much. I don't know. It's like, it's hard to say that the Large Club is better by any means in any way, but I do understand if you prefer the Large Club, if for no reason other than aesthetics, you know? Bro's getting his plin-plon crazy style. Yeah, but poison is useless in Dark Souls. I mean, it might be somewhat useful in PvP, but as someone who does not engage with PvP at all, you know, I don't think that really matters, at least not for me personally. But yeah, the Great Club is just kind of better, in my opinion, for my use cases. That was fun. That was a really fun run, actually. I really like the Large Club, at least. That is such a funny way to holster that. The best Great Hammer is by far the Great Club. It's not even close. When you're done with the Bloodborne Smasher pass? Alright. I am awaiting with bated breath the tenderizer of the cannibals. True. Anyway. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I love you all so much. I don't know how to end this.